Obviously, you guys got hit pretty hard before Saturday's game. As you go into this week, how difficult is it to prepare with, I mean, five defensive linemen? You barely have a two deep down there. How hard is it to prepare with that many guys?
It's pretty tough, to be honest with you. It's because things change. Wednesday you have a test as well. You got another on Friday, so we may end up having a couple more guys out. And I kind of got a feeling of that as well. But man, I just think that we're doing the best we can with what we have. Having five guys that have played for us this year, and very very sparingly. Trying to keep it as vague as possible, just to make sure that the guys understand where to line up and where to go and things of that nature. So it's a little tough, man. Just have, five defensive linemen. And but we're doing the best we can. And we're just trying to make sure that we're able to get the guys lined up and understand where they're going, where their gaps are, and not trying to do a whole bunch of things to confuse themselves as well as confuse us. So but we're working our butts off. I can tell you that those five guys are busting tail.
All right, we'll go to Michael and then to Jonathan.
Coach Brown, Michael McCam of Cardinal Authority. That was kind of my question about how those guys are handling, I guess, their new increased role. Obviously, it was a bit of a surprise to them on Saturday's game, but now that they know that they're going to play a bigger role, what have you seen from them? Because obviously, that changes things on the way their mindset might be and the way they prepare.
That's right. You can see a little sense of urgency, Michael, within all those guys. They understand that, the team needs them, and we need those guys to prepare, like they're the starters, in which they are the starters now, But that's what we tell them anyway. You got to prepare no matter what, like you are the starter that you're going to play. And I think this week, these guys are really locked in and focused and trying to do everything in their power to help this team, win a football game on Saturday. And I even thought this Saturday, that the guys ate. I mean, it was a last minute deal. On a Saturday morning, you wake up and it's like, boom, you got five defensive linemen, and I'm like, what? So the guys came in and they fought their butts off, man. And I was really really pleased with how hard they played. And but hopefully we can get them playing a lot harder, as well as understanding exactly what to do this coming weekend.
Jonathan.
Okay. Hello, Bryan. Has the absence of so many defensive players, has that affected the type of packages or schemes or things like that you were hoping to roll out at this point in the season for the defense?
Absolutely. You think about Jonathan, the last two games we played. We played pretty daggum good. Holding the team to 12 points and 16 points, and 14 points. We felt as a defense that we were headed, in the right direction. And the guys had that confidence all week in practice last week, and then Saturday morning you get hit with, hey, you got all these guys out defensive line. You got five defensive linemen. You lose one of your best players on the team, in Money Montgomery, who had an increased role of last week. You lose your quarterback of the defense in the secondary in Isaiah Hayes. And you could see a little bit of that on Saturday that, we missed those guys, especially up front, Money Montgomery and no doubt, Isaiah Hayes. So, it has limited some things we were able to do in that game. So we had to cut back on a lot of things this past game that we wanted to do, as well as this week. So just try to keep it basic and simple, man. Just let the guys go out there and play fast, have fun, and see what the outcome comes at the end of the game.
Have you been cross-training any other defensive players to, maybe have some guys fill in spot duty along the line at, certain points during the game on Saturday?
Absolutely. We've been training, Rob Hicks, who's played, defensive line for us when we first got here. He's a guy that, has seen some time this week defensively, defensive end. You think about a nickel KK, who's a bigger body that could possibly play end as well. And then, we had to bring some of our true freshmen over, and just see if they can, give us some look, give us some time. And that's Jared Dawson is one. And then, some couple walk-ons here and there that maybe be able to help us, but it's just tough. It's just tough being able to have, not being able to have your real, true too deep. But I think our guys are handling well, and they're focused in trying to help this team win a football game.
Cam.
Yeah, Bryan, kind of a question away from the football field. You have guys there in the program, E. McFarland, J.B. Allen, Tyler McIntyre, who do a lot of work behind the scenes for you all with the social media and the brand. I know a lot of people don't see them or really hear their names, but how important are they for what you guys want this team and this program to be on a daily basis?
Man, they're awesome. They're awesome and very, very important to us, Cam. I've been knowing Tyler McIntyre for a long time now, and Ian, those guys, he just got it this year, but they do an outstanding job with us, for us, in the social media department, whether that's with recruits, and we know recruits love, all the different graphics and things of that nature, and all the different, things we put out, to where our recruits can see that. It's a social media world, man, and those guys, they're running it, man. They're doing an outstanding job, and we're very fortunate to be able to have some good ones, some really, really good ones, and hopefully we can continue to keep them because they do such a great job. And but they're very important to everything that we do socially. With the Ville for Change stuff, man. They're every Monday they're putting it out. They're working throughout the week, trying to get those things together, as well as all the videos and things they put out on game day. They do a great job. The pictures and things of that nature as well, man. They do an awesome job, and we're just thankful and blessed to have both of those guys with us.
Michael.
Coach Brown, you mentioned, I guess a follow-up to Cameron's first question, you mentioned there's a possibility you might have fewer guys this weekend. Are you practicing with a smaller roster right now? Are there more guys in quarantine or things like that right now?
Well, we got a lot of guys that's in quarantine for sure. From last week, we had a test today, and we'll have some more guys that's in quarantine that didn't practice today. So we'll see what that comes about, with the CDC guidelines, and pretty sure Matt and his staff will do a great job of figuring out, hey, is a quarantine to where he was really, really close to whoever it was that was infected, or if not, then hopefully we'll be able to get some guys back this weekend. So we'll see. We got our fingers crossed, and hopefully that we can get at least a couple of guys back and try to go play a football game.
Coach, we appreciate it. We'll wrap on that.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
Okay. Okay. All right. So go ahead and get rolling again with Coach Dwyane Ledford, and Ken, you can start us off again.
Yeah, Dwyane, to start with something that's really not football centric. You had guys in the program who necessarily don't do on the field coaching, but J.B. Allen, Ian McFarland, Tyler McIntyre, who you've known forever probably. They do a lot of work behind the scenes, social media wise, videos. How important is their job, even though a lot of people don't know them and a lot of people don't see them? Just how important are they to helping the program get where it wants to be?
I think it's huge. I mean, those guys behind the scenes, they do so much. The things, the content that you guys are seeing that's being put out there, the amount of time, I'm talking about, it's countless hours that they're putting into what they are doing and putting out there. And, and Tyler McIntyre, I can't say enough about him. Just, we've worked together back at Appalachian State, known each other for so long, and it's just always been somebody, and this is everybody's approach, is always do more than expected. And so regardless of if this is your job title, just always looking to do more. And, I think as a program with everybody that's involved here, that attitude and that approach is with everybody. But when I think of those guys, and when you bring that up, to me, I just think that that's like that central nervous system of your program. It's such an important part, an important piece of what they do. And a lot of it obviously goes to where you don't know who's doing all that work or who's behind the scenes doing this. And when we're having official visits and recruits on campus and things like that, just the role that's added to that is even more. And so those guys are extremely important to us.
Michael.
Coach Ledford, Michael McCammon from Cardinal Authority. Last game we saw, both sides of the ball kind of start off slow. It took, I guess, a couple series for the offense to really get going. Is there something that from the coaching staff, or is there, a magic wand maybe that you guys can wave to get us to start maybe a little bit quicker so you can get, maybe a lead early in the game?
We try our best. It's something where we know what plays we're going to be running. We have those scripted out well in advance, so we go over that with our players to make sure we give them all the different looks that we're trying to get them prepared for. It's even myself, like, showing different motivational videos on Friday nights before Saturday game. We'll try to find, but to me, we're going to always do whatever we can to find a way. And that's the tough part about it, is you can't start slow. And we've said that all season long. And it's been something that's been an issue with us throughout the season with certain games in which we don't start off slow. It's the results are better for us. And so that's something I think the players, they understand it, they know it. And, it's even to the point at practice, whenever we start a period, starting fast, making sure that we chart that. Like, as far as, like, look, guys, we had a negative play here on the first play of this 1st and 10 segment. We can't have that. All right, we got to have pride, and we got to start fast. You walk from our locker room through our little tunnel going to the stadium, out to the stadium, start fast, finish strong. That's the last thing these guys are going to see when they're taking the field. And so it's something that we just got to keep hammering home and keep working at, obviously, and just keep going to work with it.
Cam.
Yeah, Dwyane, obviously you guys didn't, on the offensive side of the ball, didn't get hit too hard with the kind of COVID stuff that hit on Saturday. But just when that hits the defensive side like that, does that heighten your awareness of, listen, we got to be careful. We got to kind of be careful each and every day. And I don't know if you expect that to hit you guys at any point this week going into Virginia.
Well, it's obviously it does get heightened when, you do hear of the positive tests. But, it's something that, before the season even began this year, you prepare yourself to say, well, this could happen. It could happen to our room. It could happen to this room. And, we have to be prepared for that. And but once you finally go through it, obviously it's something that Matt and his staff, what they do with us every day, even as coaches, constant reminders. All right, got mask up, guys, mask ups. Where your mask at? Spread out. And so, and our guys have done a great job with that. But I can't, like the last thing I told my guys tonight after practice, guys, we've worked so hard to get to this point and wanted this season so bad. Let's make sure that we continue to do those little things in order for us to make sure we don't let this thing spread or let it in here. And, so I think the guys are very well aware of. We're testing all the time. But, when it does hit, obviously it does raise your awareness with it.
Go to Michael and then to Russ.
Coach, talk a little bit about Virginia. North Carolina went in there last week as one of the nation's top rushing teams. Virginia was able to keep them under 100 yards. That's clearly a big part of your guys' offensive effort. What do you see from them defensively that's made them so strong against the run?
I think they're where they're supposed to be. I think they're well coached. Their linebackers are upperclassmen. They got a smart group of players that fit very well against the run. They're going to fit their gaps. They run very well up front. They try to occupy you up front with your linemen, with their D linemen, to allow those linebackers to run free, to be able to play behind the play. And they do a really good job with it. Their safeties come down for run support and do a good job with it as well. And they mix up their packages. It's a 3-down team. They'll get into some 4-down stuff also with some pressures. They do a really good job. I mean, it's that program's last year when we played them, it was a tough physical game. Obviously, they played for the ACC championship representing their side, and you still see that as we watch film on these guys. It's a tough physical group that's going to be where they're supposed to be.
Russ.
Yeah, Coach. I want to go back to the defense, but real quick, you mentioned the sign about starting fast. How do you? You're going to be on the road. How do you remind them? You take the sign with you?
We don't take that one with us, but it's something that we say continuously throughout our walkthroughs, throughout our clap session that we have before we get on the bus. And as we're taking that field, we're talking about that. And so it's something that we are definitely trying to get the message home. Start fast, finish strong.
Good. Okay, thank you. The defensive question, their best player, at least one of the best, seems to be Snowden, who's had a heck of a couple last games, 7.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, I think. What makes him so tough to deal with?
Well, he's got great length. I mean, he's 6'7", extremely. He can cover so much ground with just the length that he has. He can play your zone reads well. He can, actually might not be in a rush with getting to the quarterback, but will trigger and is just able to make up a lot of ground because of his length. But he's got great athletic set. Like he can run, he can bend for his size. He can bend really well and get the edge on an offensive lineman when they're getting to the quarterback. And so I just think like a person like he's athletic, he's long. That size factor and what he can do from an athletic standpoint is definitely something.
All right, I'm just making sure everybody else is still not frozen, right? Just Coach?
Yeah, I'm here. There you go.
All right. All right, we were going to wrap on that question anyway, FYI. So I think we're good if everybody's good with what they got.
All good.
Yeah, that's fine. Good.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Can't hang around.